Good morning and welcome back to the Turtle Wins the Race Home-Based Business Podcast. My name is Kara Buntin and I've run a home-based business since 1999, so that's what we talk about here. And today I wanted to talk about investing in your business because a couple things have come up recently that, kind of made my eyes bulge out a little bit in shock. But it does go to, investing in your business. And I know a lot of people are very reluctant to invest in their businesses because your budget is tight or you don't have that much income yet. I understand that. And I would say never spend money that you don't have. Okay. Don't go into debt to do this kind of stuff. It's not worth it unless you know for sure that you're going to have the money to pay it back next month. All right. But don't spend money you don't have, period. That's it. I was always profitable from the beginning of when I had my business because I didn't spend money that I didn't have. And that's how you get, look, the best way to make money is to not spend money. And some people say you have to spend money to make money. That's not necessarily true, but sometimes, on the other hand, it does kind of cut the time to making money if you spend a little money to invest in a class or for some equipment that does something faster than you can. So it's always kind of a balance. You have to make this decision for yourself, but don't spend money you don't have, please, because that's the fastest way to go broke. All right. All right. So the first thing that happened that I started seeing in Facebook, and I know when people start running Facebook ads for a class, that they are on a rampage promoting that class, because this is a very common strategy for people that sell classes, is to run Facebook ads. Okay. And I started seeing an ad from someone who I know was a YouTube guru, and I don't watch the videos. I'm not someone who will, sit and watch other Etsy YouTube videos because it drives me nuts. But I had seen some of the videos that this person put out when they first started on YouTube, and they were very basic. It wasn't anything groundbreaking. It wasn't anything, that I would feel, oh, wow, I really learned something from watching this. So I was like, well, this is interesting. But I most people who are selling, I'm trying to be nice about, I say that a lot on this podcast. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to engage my filter, right? There are a lot of people on YouTube, and not just in the selling on Etsy space, it's everywhere. There are a lot of people on YouTube who make more money selling classes about the thing that they're talking about than actually doing that thing. That's all I'm going to say. And I had a class for marketing, like Etsy marketing, online marketing. I don't sell it anymore, so I'm going to talk now. Okay. And I never did these shady things anyway, because it just felt gross to me. But a lot of people do a lot of shady things. And I know that there are strategies that circulate in the online class community for how to do shady things. Okay. And when I start seeing Facebook ads for a class, I know that someone is building a funnel. And the funnel is you run ads, you get people intrigued, they sign up for your free webinar. But what I've noticed recently is they sign up for a free call, right? So call us and we'll talk about your needs, right? And they know they can hard sell you when they get you on the phone. Don't be afraid. If you never call people, number one, but hang up on them too. Don't be afraid to hang up on people. Yeah, but so it starts with Facebook ads. It gets people into whatever online, like a free class, a free webinar. Then they start selling you the hard sell for their class or something small. And a lot of times they start with a product that is very cheap so that it lures a lot of people into buying that. And that basically covers the cost of the Facebook ads. And that's the strategy, is that you want to cover the cost of the Facebook ads by selling this low-cost product. And it's a digital thing, so you don't have to do anything. Once you make it, it's there, it's digital, it's a class, people can take it. And you want to give them a lot of value in that so that it makes them think, oh, now I want to pay more for a bigger class. But that's the whole strategy, is that when people use Facebook ads and they have a low-cost product attached to it, that's what they're doing. They're basically covering the cost of the Facebook ads with this low-cost product. And you can do that forever. I mean, you're not losing money. As long as you're covering the cost of the ads, you're not losing any money. And someone along the line is going to sign up for your more expensive class. That's the whole strategy. But okay, so I started seeing Facebook ads from this person that I'd never seen Facebook ads before from. And I'm like, okay, well, this is interesting because I know that they're over on YouTube doing videos about how to sell on Etsy. I haven't watched any of them recently, but I know that they're there. I recognize the name. And now they're over on Facebook doing ads. So it means that they're selling some kind of a class. So I went to look because I'm nosy. And what I found was, oh my God, it's a super high price class. And it also had like a coaching component to it. So there were like different tiers that you could buy. And this was one of those, give us a call and we'll tell you what your options are. So they didn't even have prices listed on the website. That's always a bad sign because they want to loop you in. They don't want to put a price there. And that's also one of the rules of selling a class is you never tell people the price ever. Okay. And because as soon as people see that high price, they're just out of there. And you want to get them on the phone. You want to get them into a seminar where you can have people say, oh, this is the best thing I ever did for my life, and give them the hard sell. So there were no prices on the website. So I just Googled it. I Googled the name. I Googled, Etsy class or whatever I did. And a bunch of forums came up because that's how Google is working at the moment. And it basically was people complaining that this was the biggest ripoff and that this person is trying to sue them for whatever. I don't even know. It's like, they wanted out of whatever thing they were paying. And then that person tried to sue them for breach of contract. And just basically reporting shenanigans, reporting all kinds of like fake reviews that were positive, weird posts. And it was crazy. But the price that, oh my God, I think the base price was $2,500 and people were saying they had paid $9,000 and got nothing out of this. Okay, number one, don't pay $9,000. But this is the thing, people who pay that much money, they've probably made that much and they're trying to get to the next level, right? And they're willing to invest in their business to try to get to that next level. That's not always a bad thing. But if you don't go and read the reviews, if you don't go and actually do your due diligence before you pay $9,000, that's on you, right? So don't do that. But I was thinking about the investing in your business because sometimes it is worth it. And I have seen marketing that has nothing to do with selling on Etsy. I've seen marketing memberships that are like, $50,000 a year, and people pay it and they get good value out of it and they make that money back with the things that they've learned in the class. And they get ongoing support from the other people who have, they have groups for the members and that kind of thing. So it's not always a bad thing to pay that much money. But if you're going to pay that much money, you need to go look for real reviews. Don't just believe what's on the website because that could just be made up. And it's definitely cherry picked for the 1 or 2 people out of 100 who actually got some value out of the class. So you have to check for yourself. Don't rely on online reviews because a lot of them are not real. And a lot of the... Yeah, I mean, if you go over into these forums, and I'm sure everybody's going to run over and Google this stuff and see what I'm talking about. But yeah, there are a lot of very shady things that go on with reviews around classes that people should be aware of. And I think we're all aware of it. But when you're on the fence thinking, I don't know if I want to do this, I don't know if I want to pay that money. All it takes is a few positive reviews to push you over the edge and get you to spend that money. And these people know that. They know that. Okay. That was the first thing that happened, talking about investing in your business. Now, my point with that is that, yeah, you should be very careful about what you're investing in because a lot of things are not worth it. But like I said, there was a marketing membership and it was $50,000 a year. And people said, this is the best thing I've ever done for my business. And it had nothing to do with selling products. It was about like selling coaching to other people, or it was some kind of a marketing membership. I don't even remember what it was, like specifically who it was targeted at, but it wasn't for people who were selling online. It was like for realtors, and it was strange. And it wasn't something I would have signed up for because it wasn't for my target audience. But I was interested in this whole system because this woman she was getting like people saying, this is the best thing I've ever done for my business. And they were actually live with her. She had a lot of proof that these were people that were actually benefiting. I'm sure that if I had dug a little deeper, I would have found a lot of people who said, no, this didn't work for me. And because I was not considering spending $50,000 on a membership that was not anything that I would have used in my business, I didn't dig deeper. But if I was going to do that, I was thinking about it, I would have dug really deep, because that's a lot of money. All right. So that's the first thing. It's like sometimes when you invest in your business, it will be a good thing. And I like to think that the people who buy my classes, and like I said, the main class that I have is not for sale anymore. I still have a Pinterest class and a monthly membership. I like to think that I give people value for the amount that I'm charging. And I always keep it really low so that people can afford it. Because I know that people who sell products online, we're all broke, right? So we're not all broke. But a lot of people are just starting out. And I'm sympathetic to that because I was in the same position. So anyway, I'm not out to gouge people, basically. But you really have to be careful about when you're investing with classes in your business and spending that money, that you're going to get something that's good for you. And don't spend money on a class that's not in your niche. Like I said, the $50,000 thing was not anything that I would have used. So I'm not going to buy that. Even if it got the best reviews in the world and everybody said it was the greatest thing ever, it wasn't something that I would use. All right, so I'm not going to buy that. The other thing that happened, and now I'm I was thinking about the, I know what it was. My mind went blank for a minute. Just investing in equipment for your business. So there's one thing like the side of investing in lessons and that kind of thing. Investing in equipment for your business, I would be a little more aggressive about that. Okay, if you can see behind me, if you're watching, I have 2 edible ink printers set up here. There's a third one that goes on the shelf. I have to point in the right direction backwards. The shelf under this one, there's a shelf down here. That one died yesterday. I just made the decision to pull the plug. I took it to Staples. I recycled it. And I have another one in a box behind me, right there, that's ready to get set up. I keep 3 edible ink printers going all the time. And I keep 3 in reserve all the time, because that's my business. And without those printers, I can't sell wafer paper that I print. So when it comes to investing in equipment, I am pretty aggressive about that, because I don't want to get caught with no machines that work. And every now and then, all 3 of them will stop working at the same time. And sometimes you can't get them to work again. It's just these printers with the edible ink, it's food coloring ink. It's a different consistency than regular printer ink. I mean, there's all kinds of things that go into it. I'm not going to bore you with the specifics, but basically these printers die within 4 or 5 months. If I get 4 or 5 months out of one, I feel lucky. And I think there was one that was almost a year old. And I'm like, what is going on with you? And I talked to them. You have to be nice to them. But yeah, I mean, they die pretty quickly because the ink ruins the print head. It's a mess. But I keep those in stock because I need them. And I'm very aggressive with spending on things that will back me up in case I have an emergency. And actually what got me thinking about this is that I have been doing more sewing lately. I have a baby lock sewing machine that's for quilting. It's pretty basic, but I got it years ago, right? And I've been using it, and I've been doing more sewing articles for one of my websites. And I had all these projects in mind. I was working on a quilt. I was quilting it. I was sewing a straight stitch. I wasn't doing anything weird, and it went okay. If you are a sewer, you know what that sound is. It locked up. The emergency stop came on, and the machine would not move. Okay, nothing I did. I took it apart to see if there was anything stuck in there. There's nothing I can find. It's just something is wrong with the machine. That's no big problem for me, except it was inconvenient because I had these projects in mind. I was going to work on it that day. Now I can't work on it because I don't have a sewing machine. If I had a business that relied on that machine, I would have been in big trouble. Okay, that's not good. So if you have a machine that you rely on for your business, you'd better have a backup. And even if it's just a cheap version of the nice one that you have, you need to have a backup so that you'll have that in case you hear that, because that's a bad sound as you're sewing. And I wasn't even doing anything. I could see if I was doing something weird and it did that, I would deserve it. There were no nothing. So don't suggest things to me in the comments, because there was literally nothing was going on with this machine. So I had to take the machine to the Baby Lock store where I bought it to get it serviced. And I stopped at the Bernina store on the way home, and one of them followed me home. So now I have two sewing machines, which is good because if, when I want to do a project, I want to do it. And I need a Bernina also. So anyway, and I just get basic machines. Don't get all excited. I got a basic machine on sale. It doesn't even cut the thread for me. Oh my God, I'm so spoiled with the Baby Lock. It just cuts everything. It does everything for you. Anyway, but yeah, and there have been times when I'm thinking about investing in my business as far as buying new machinery. Like, do I want to expand my product lines? And the things that you look at and you're like, I really want that. That would be for me the Glow Forge. I would love a Glow Forge, but I'm thinking about it. I was like, okay, number one, I can't fix that. If something goes wrong with a laser printer, I don't know how to fix that. And with these, I can fix them. I know how they work. I know how to fix it, and I know when it can't be fixed. Okay. With a Glow Forge, I would be completely clueless. It would be starting from zero learning about it. And I don't want to build products that rely on a machine that might quit and that I can't fix. So if I was going to go into making Glowforge products, whatever that would be, I would need two of them. Okay, so that would be that investment. And, it's the same thing with 3D printers. I had toyed with the idea about 3D printing for a while because it just looks so much fun. It looks like fun, right? But no, because it's the same thing. I wouldn't be able to fix it. And that to me is that's the killer right there. If I don't have the knowledge about that, and I would have to learn about it, and it's not something I would be doing a lot of, then I'll just pass. I'll pass. But you have to be aware of that kind of stuff when you're considering investing in your business, and think of the worst case scenario. Think of, I just built this really successful 3D printing business. It's going great. Oh no. Now all of my printers quit at the same time. Okay, what would you do? That's the kind of thing you have to think about when you're thinking about investing in equipment. Like, what would you do? If I was desperate, I could just run up to Staples and get a printer, and it would probably be fine. I would have to find one that worked with the same cartridges, which would not be fine probably. But I could probably scrounge one up somewhere. But the way that I manage that is I have, like I said, I just ordered 3 more printers because I only have one extra one right now. And I think one of these is going to die pretty soon. So it's ready to go. I just got rid of one. I'm getting ready to install another one. It's just being prepared. And that's the kind of investment in your business that makes sense to me, because it's just continuing what you're doing, and it's making sure that you don't have that moment where you're like, oh my God, I have orders to get out. I have orders I have to fill, and I don't have the equipment to do it. That is the worst. So those are the 2 kinds of investing in your business I wanted to talk about today. But with the class stuff, oh my God, be really careful. You might get value out of things, but is it going to be worth $9,000? Probably not. Okay. I don't know. I mean, it might be. It might be. Just read the reviews, do your due diligence, ask people. Don't rely on everything you see on that website, because a lot of that stuff is lies. They are lies. Or it's the one person who was successful and who would have been successful even without that class. That's a lot of it too. Anyway, that's all. Okay, if you have any questions, post them. I will talk to you next week, and give this video a thumbs up. Okay, bye.